Hi everyone, welcome back to Geeks for Geeks practice and welcome back to another problem of the day. So quickly give me a plus one in the chat if my voice is clearly audible to everyone and everything is working fine so that we can start with the problem as well. So hi Rishit, hi Vanshika and hi Himanshu. So all of you can hit the like button and give me a quick plus one in the chat if everything is working fine, and then I'll start off with the problems as well. Okay. So let's start off with the problem. I'll quickly share my screen. So yes, I've shared my screen. Now the problem was reorder list. It has been tagged as a hard problem, but I feel it's a medium problem. To be honest, it's not a hard problem. Okay, it's a medium level problem. So this particular problem has been asked in Amazon. It has also been asked in Microsoft, and it has been asked in Intuit and Oyo also. So these are the four companies which have been tagged with this particular problem. Now, starting with this problem, so if you know a little bit about linked list, you can give me a plus one also. Okay. So it says that you'll be given a single linked list. What kind of single linked list? So let's say the single linked list looks like this. It has some elements. Let's say the element is A0, A1, A2, like A2, A3 up till AN minus 1, AN minus 2, right? So if we have a linked list like this, let's say we have A0, after that we have A1 connected to it, then we have A2, then we have, let's say, A3, and so on and so forth. Then we have AN minus 2 and we have AN minus 1. So we have the last element. Now we need to do what? We need to reorder, right? We need to reorder this linked list. Okay, we need to reorder this linked list. How do we want to reorder this particular linked list? So the problem says that you have to reorder it like this, like the first guy, after that the last guy. Like, see, you have the first guy as what? Like the first guy is nothing but A0 with the last guy, right? So first guy, after that the last guy. So A0, AN minus 1. Then the second guy, okay, that is after that you have the second guy, that is A1, right? From the starting, the second guy, and the second last guy, right? So AN minus 2. Okay, is this part clear? And so on and so forth. That is how you'll keep on continuing with this pattern. Is this part clear? First guy with this last guy, then second guy with the second last guy. First guy A0 with the last guy. Then second guy A1 with the second last guy. Second guy A1 with the second last guy. Is this part clear? All of you can give me a plus one in the chat if this particular point is clear, because this is the most important part for this particular question. Right? Let me check the audio. Okay, is everyone clear? Can we move forward? Okay, now let's take an example. Let's say that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let us say that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, then we have 2, then we have 3, then we have 4, then we have 5. Okay, so for example, this has been given as the input. What is the expected output? The expected output is 1, 5, 2, 4, 3. Okay, so the expected output is what? 1, then you will have 5. So first guy, after that the last guy, then the second guy, okay, and the second last guy, then the last guy, like you can see the third guy. Okay, is this part clear? Today's question is easy. Definitely it's easy. I also feel the same. So one, you have one, after that you have five, the first guy, the last guy, second last guy, second guy, second last guy, then the third guy, you can say, from the starting. Okay, this is how it is. Now it says that, you see, what you could have done is, you can basically do what? You can do one thing, right? You can do one basic thing, that you can store this in an array. Very, very easy, but it's not a good thing. What you can do is, you can store, like, if you will see, from where do you want to change this particular thing. So if you will see, you can store the second half possibly, and then after every element, you can do what? You can put the elements from the back. Like if you have one, after that you can put five, then after that you have two, four. So after that you can iterate and you can put four, then you have three. This is what you can do. But this is not a good thing. Like you can use a array. Like basically what you can do is, you can store all the back element. Like maybe what you could have done is, if you have this particular array, let's say, so if you have five here, so what you could have done is, you could have used a stack. Okay, or maybe you could have directly done it. Let's say you could have used a stack here, and what you could have done is, let's say you could have put four first of all, and then five. Let's say after the second half, you could have put these elements. So you put these elements first of all, you'll put four, then five. Okay, once you have put these elements, so what you could have done is, you could have iterated. So for the first element, you will take this guy, right, top guy, then this five is there. After that you remove it, let's say, then you have two, Then for this guy, you will again take a top element, so you'll have 4, so you'll have 4 here. After that you will remove it, then you have this guy, right? And then there's no guy here, so obviously this is exhausted. Is this part clear? Very basic approach, one of the approaches using a stack. This can be done from the midpoint. After the midpoint, that is for the second half, you insert all the elements, and then you simply iterate and push them inside a stack, put them inside a stack, and then one by one, alternatively, you keep on taking them out. This is one of the ways. Now suppose that if we had 1 2, okay, 3 4, then we had 5, and then we had 6 here. Okay, if we have this particular thing, so what I could have done is, like, I can simply say that this second half will be in the stack, like, kind of. So you can say that if you will put this inside a stack, so first of all 4 will come, then 5 will come, and then 6 will come. Okay, then when you start iterating, so you'll be at 1. So for 1 you'll have the top guy as 6, right? Then you'll pop it out. Then for the second guy, that is 2, you will have this top guy 5, you'll put it. Then you have 3. So for this you have the top guy as 4, so after 3 you'll put 4, and that is how they must be expecting the answer, that for the first guy, the last guy, then the second last guy, third last guy. Okay, I hope that this much part is clear. Like, this could have been an approach, but it is not a good thing. We will do what? We will not use any extra space, right? No extra space. Like, we will do it without using any extra space. That is, we will try to do this particular thing in place. It says that do this in place without alternating the nodes. So we will do what? We will not use any extra space. We will only change the connections, right? We will only change the connections. Okay, we will do what? We will only change the connections. Now what do I mean by that? So can I say that first thing is that I want the mid. Please write clear in the chat, guys. I want the midpoint first of all. So let's say if I have a if I have a linked list 1 2, then I have 3, then I have 4, then I have 5, okay, then I have 6, right? So what is the midpoint here? So let's say I have I am assuming that you know how to find slow and far, like how to find the midpoint using slow and fast pointer concept. You guys know it. Please write yes in the chat. If you don't, you can write no in the chat as well. Just quickly write that. Okay, so I'll have the slow pointer and the fast pointer. So initially you can see that I have the slow pointer, I have the fast pointer, both will be standing at 1. Then in the next step, slow will move by 1, so it will move to 2, fast will move to 3, right? Then what will happen in the next step? Slow will move to 3, and you can say that fast will move to nothing but 5. Okay, no worries. So basically what we do is, like I am telling Amar, what I'm saying is, we will do what? We will take a slow pointer and a fast pointer, and slow will move by 1 node and fast will move by 2 nodes. So initially both of them are standing at 1. Then slow will move by 1 node, so slow will move to 2, fast will move to 3. Okay, then slow will move by 1 again, and fast will move by 2 nodes, so fast will move to 5. Okay, after that what will happen? You can assume that there is a null also, right, in the end. So after that, fast will move to null, and the slow will move to 4. Is this particular point clear to everyone? Is this particular point clear, guys? Right, so that is how this is where my slow is going to stand. Let's say for a second, let us assume that my slow is going to stand here, right? Because slow will be 1, fast will be 1. Okay, then after that what will happen? My slow will move by 1 node, so it will move to 2, fast will move by 2 nodes, so it will move to 3, right? Then after that, my fast will move to 5, and my slow will move by 1 more node, so it will move to 3. Then so you can see this, like fast moves here, right? So slow moves here. Then after that, fast moves here, then slow moves here, and after that fast moves here and the slow moves here, right? This at this particular point in time. So this is what is happening now. After this particular point, if you will see, so this will work, finding this particular midpoint logic will work for the odd cases also. If you will see, 1, okay, 2, 3, if I have 4, if I have 5, if I have this particular example. So if I have slow pointer and I have a fast pointer, so let's say my slow is pointing at 1 and fast is pointing at 1 as well. So if my slow will move by 1, so it will move to 2. Let's say there's null after that. Okay, so fast will move, like slow fast will move to 3. Then after that, fast will move to 5 and slow will move to 3, right? So this is where my slow is pointing. Okay, guys, this is where my slow is pointing. Now in this particular case, after this, what will you do? Can I say that after, like, I want to reverse which part, guys? I want to reverse this part, yes or no? Remember this I want to reverse after slow, after the midpoint. Like, yes, you can write yes in the chat. After the midpoint, after the midpoint, I want to reverse the second half, correct? Is this point clear to everyone? Quickly let me know in the chat, guys. After the midpoint, I want to reverse the linked list, right? After that is from slows next. from slows next I want to reverse the linked list. Right? Why? Because if you will see, let's say after slows next if I'll reverse this linked list, so how will it look like? So basically what I'm saying is, if you break it into components, so this is a slow, this will be, let's say, slows next. Okay, this will pointer will be slows next. So starting from here till the end, I will simply reverse this linked list. So how will it look like? So in this case, what will happen? Let's say I will divide it into, like, this will, there will be a first part, okay, and there will be a second component part. So I'm saying that after slows next, basically from slows next, after the slow pointer, that is after the midpoint, slow is pointing at mid. So after that, from the slows next till the end, I will simply reverse this particular linked list. What will happen in that case? So basically what will happen, it will look like 5 4. Okay, when I'll reverse the linked list 4 5, so it will look like 5 4. And like this will be marked as the second linked list. Okay, and what I will do is, I will say that now slows next will point to null. So now this linked list will point to null. So basically, for clarity purpose, what I'll be doing is I'll be copying this particular part. Let's say if I'll copy it in a better manner. Just a second. Okay, so this is how it will break. So basically, the first linked list, that after the slow, I'm marking the slows next as null. So this is the first part, and this is the second part. And you can see I have not declared any new node. Okay, I have not taken any extra space. This is just the linked list that I am having. Okay, so basically, what did I do? For developing this particular part, I just called the reverse the linked list from the slows next, that is after the midpoint, just after the midpoint, reverse it. Is this particular point clear to everyone? Quickly let me know in the chat, guys. Is it clear to everyone? Till this point everyone is clear? Then I'll proceed further with it. Okay, after this particular point, what will you do? After this particular point, what will you do? See, this is the first linked list. Okay, okay, a lot of people are clear, right? So after this, you have the first, and you have this as second. So what can I say? Can I say that you want what? You want one guy from this guy, one guy from this linked list, and one guy from this linked list, right? So what you will do is, like, you will simply iterate until the first linked list and the second linked list is not exhausted, right? Until that point, you will keep on iterating, right? So in this particular case, if you will observe, so I can say that this is the first element, right? So what can I say? I can say that I'll iterate until the first and the second both are not equal to null. Then what I will do is, the first, if I'll see, so first, like, first node is this, right? First link, this is the first link list, right? This first is the whole link list. So basically, first is pointing at the starting of this link list, right? Let's say I'll point my first to the head. Okay, so I'll point the first to the head of this linked list. Okay, that is what will happen. And my second is indicating the starting of this linked list, right? So second is this guy. Okay, the last guy, like, basically this guy is the second. This is the second pointer where it is standing. This element 5 is where the second pointer is standing. After that, can I say that what I'll do? I'll say that first next is equal to nothing but second, because I want once next to be equal to 5. Like, I want once next to be 5, first next to second, yeah. So basically, first this guy's next is nothing but second. Okay, that is what I will do. But before that I will do something more. Like, see, if I will do that, if I'll say that first next is equal to second, so indirectly what will happen now? Once next will be now 5, but I don't want this. In that case, I will lose the access of the rest of the linked list, and please write lose in the chat. Because what will happen if you mark the first next as second? So if you do this particular thing, first next will be marked as this 5. Okay, then this connection is lost, this particular connection is lost, and because of that, the rest of the linked list is lost, which is something that you don't want, right? So what you will do is before that what you will do is, you will simply have a temp one, right? Temp one will point to the first next, right? First of all, you'll take a temp one that will point to the first next. So you'll say that temp one, the variable temp one t1 is equal to nothing but first next. Okay, and there will be a variable t2 that will be pointing to the seconds next. Okay, so you'll store both of them before, right? Yeah, you'll use a temporary variable, obviously, right? Then after that, you'll say that first next is equal to second. So one, if you do that now, right? If you do that now, so what will happen now? If you do that, so basically one, like, if you will see here, so what will happen? See, one will start pointing to 5. Okay, and then my t1 is standing here and t2 is standing here. Okay, after this particular point is over, what will you do, guys? After this particular point is over, what would be your approach? You will now tell me that, okay, can I say that, can I say that after this, let's see, 1 is now pointing to 5, right? Now what should happen? Now 5 should, like, see, this is where my first guy is standing, this is where the second point is standing. Now can I say that after this particular point, 5 should point to what? Like after 1, then 5. So first guy from here, then another guy from here. Then after that 2, 2 should come. So which guy? T1. That is why you were storing T1. So that is why what you will say is that after this seconds next, after that for this, like, second guy is here. So seconds next will be T1, because after 1 and 5, like, you take 1 from here, 5 from here, then after that you want 2. So that will be nothing but T1. So you will want 2 here. So this is nothing but seconds next. You will say that seconds next should be equal to nothing but what? Should be equal to T1. Okay, is this point clear to everyone? Quickly let me know, guys. Seconds next is equal to T1. Yeah, is this point clear to everyone? Quickly let me know in the chat, guys. Is everyone clear with this particular point? You will allow the seconds next to be equal to the T1. Okay, and once you are done with this point, so you will see that now the first pointer will stand here, right? So the first will stand here, and then you'll see that second will stand at T2, right? So second will stand at T2. So after this code is executed, then after this particular segment of the code is executed, then what you will do is, let's say after this code is executed, right? So after that, you will simply see that first pointer will get updated to T1, and the second pointer will get updated to T2, and this process will repeat until the end. Can you explain this step again? Which step you want me to explain, Rishit? Okay, see, basically, if I'll erase this whole part up, right, let me erase it for you again. I'll explain it again. Right, so see, just a second, I'll erase it first of all. Okay, so see, basically, initially what I'm having, after reversing, this is the situation, right? So I'm having the first pointer here at the head of the first linked list, like at the initial head, and I'm having second pointer here, let's say. Okay, so what do I want? I want 1 to point to 5, then after that I want 2. This is what I want. But if my 1 will start pointing to 5, then this connection is lost. So I don't want this. So that is why I will take T1 here, right? T1 will be pointing to first next, right? So I'll say that T1 is equal to nothing but first next, and I'll also say that T2 variable is equal to nothing but second next. Okay, so that I don't lose my first and second next. Okay, so let's say this is nothing but T2. After that, I will say that first next should point to the second. Okay, basically after that, first next will be equal to nothing but the second pointer. Right. And after first next is equal to the second, what do you want? Like, you have 1 5. After that, you want a 2. You want 2. So first is this, second is this. Now for the seconds next, you want T1, right? Because you want 1 5, and then after that 2. So you want this particular guy. So that is nothing but T1. So you'll say that seconds next is equal to T1. Is this part clear to everyone? Quickly let me know, guys. This is what will happen. So the linked list will look like 1. After that you have 5, right? And after that you have 2 here. Okay, and after this particular point, in the next iteration, like in the next iteration, what you will do is you'll update your you will update your first pointer, like they will move forward, right? Because next time you want 2 to point to this 4, right? This is what you want. Because now what has happened, this connection is lost. Now 1 is pointing to 5. That is fine, right? That is fine, totally fine. After this particular point, you can say that now what is happening, see, 5 is pointing to 2, like it will look like zigzag, but this is how it is actually, right? So now 5 is pointing to 2, you can say, like, so the pointers are only changing. Please write pointers in the chat, or P in the chat. Only the pointers are changing. I'm still having those notes. I'm not using any extra space, right? So this is what will happen after this particular point. Like, you can say that uh, like 5 5's next will be 2. This is what will happen, and then my first pointer will stand here. Okay, so let me change the color of the pen. So what will happen, my first pointer is going to stand here, and my second pointer will be here, right? Obviously, and this connection has been lost. Now after that, again I'll do the same process, right? Again I'll do the same process. So what process will I do? Again the same process will happen. So I'll store this in T1, okay, and this in T2, right? After this particular point, what will we do? Now we will simply say that, first next is equal, like, see, first next is equal to t second. So that is why what will happen, first next is equal to second. So that is why what will happen indirectly, you can understand this thing, that first next is equal to second. So that means now 2 will start pointing to 4, right? So after that 2 will start pointing to 4, you can understand this. So now this guy starts pointing to this guy. So basically the connections are getting changed. So now you can see that if I'll have 5 here in between, let's say I have 1, after that I have 5, then after 5 we have 2. Okay, then 2's next, like this is stored in T1, this is stored in T2, so 2's next will be now 4. Okay, and this connection will be lost, right? And then after this particular point, I'll say that seconds next, that is four's next, will be nothing but this guy T1, right? Because this will be 3. Okay, that is what will happen here. And after this is after this happens, what will happen here? After that, you will simply see that now 4 will come here, right? So after that, 2 it points to 4, then 4 points to 3. Okay, this is what will happen. And obviously you can understand that 3 is the variable where T1 is standing, right? T1 is here, and after that you have null here in the first linked list, and you have T2. So after that the first will get updated, like after that, after this you can see that first will get updated to T1 and the second will get updated to T2. So first will be now standing at this particular node and the second will be standing at null. So when any of them becomes null, then I'll break. Now please write break in the chat. When any of them becomes null, like if the first is not equal to null and the second is not equal to null, when both of them are not equal to null, not equal to null, till that point I'll keep on iterating. Otherwise I'll return, because now this is null. Obviously 3 is pointing to null. So you can see that this is pointing to null, right? So is this point clear to everyone? That is how I am doing this particular thing. Do we need to increment both T1 and first? Basically T1 is always, since we are always moving one by one, so T1 is already getting updated now. Okay, Amar, is this part clear? Is there anyone who is not clear with anything? Quickly let me know, then we'll proceed further as well. So this is what I've done, right? Now let's try and implement the code for the approach as well. Okay, let's quickly try to do it. Okay, so what will I do first? First of all, I'll be having a slow and the fast pointer. So like I'll say that node star slow pointer. Okay, first of all, I'll find the midpoint. Like kind of the slow pointer will should point to the midpoint, right? So slow will be equal to the head, and the fast pointer will be equal to the head as well initially, right? And then I'll say that while the fast pointer is not equal to null, okay, and the like I'll end when either the fast pointer should not be null or its next should not be null. The moment any of this happens, so I'll simply break. So if the fast is not null and the fast next is not equal to null, okay, till this point we'll keep on iterating, and we'll say that slow is equal to slows next. Okay, and I'll say that fast is equal to fast next, because fast will move by 2 nodes. You can write 2 in the chat, guys. Fast will be moving by how many nodes? Fast will be moving by 2 nodes. Is this point clear to everyone? Quickly let me know, guys. Is everyone clear with this particular point? Right, so fast will move by 2 nodes. Now after we have done the iteration, so now my slow is pointing where? Now after this particular point in time, my slow is pointing at the midpoint. So from the slows next I want to reverse. Now is this point clear to everyone, that after this from the slows next I want to reverse? So I'll say that the first linked list node star first. Okay, first linked list will be what? It will be the head. It will be starting from the head. Okay, and the second linked list will start from it. So the node star, let's say the second linked list will start from where? It will start from, like it will start from slows next, but that will be reversed now. It will start from slows next, right? If you have, let's say 1, then you have 2, then you have 3, then you have 4, then you have 5, right? Then you have null. So if suppose that your slow points here, okay, so this is the second half, right? So from the slows next you will start, but you need to reverse this linked list, right? So I'll say that the second point, like the second linked list, will be nothing but the reverse, like reverse of slows next. Like from the slows next till the end, I'll reverse this particular linked list, and whatever I get in return will be the starting of the second. So basically, if I have this particular linked list 4 5, so it will get reversed and it will be like 5 4, and this will be my second starting. Is this part clear to all of us? Others are also clear with it, right? This is what I'm doing. So what will I do? Like after this particular point, there's one more thing that I want to do, right? If you will see here, so this is where my first is standing, okay, and this is like after reversing this linked list, it will look like what? Like after this you can assume that what will happen, I want to break it from here now. So after this what I want to say, I want to say that this is the second half individually, right? So what will I do, guys? If I want to break it from here, if I want to break it from here, so I'll simply say that I'll simply say that slows next is equal to null. So the moment I'll mark the slows next as null, so this is one individual linked list, and this is another linked list, right? And obviously this will be reversed in nature. So this will be like 5 4, and this is where my second will stand. Is this point clear? Yeah, slows next will be marked as null. So I'll say that slows next shall be marked as null. Okay, that is what I'll do. Right. And till when will I iterate? Till when will I iterate now? I'll iterate until the first is not equal to null and the second is not equal to null. So if the first is not equal to null and the second is not equal to null, so till that point we'll keep on iterating. And what will we do? We'll first of all have the temp one node. So let's say node start temp one is equal to what? Is equal to nothing but first next. As I said, I'll store the next node of the first so that I don't lose it, because I'll be updating my first next to the second. And then I'll have the node star, let's say T2. T2 will be what? T2 will be nothing but the seconds next, let's say seconds next. Okay, this is what I'll have. Then after this particular point, what I want the first next node, okay, to be equal to the second. This is what I want. Like the first next node should be equal to what? The second. And after this, the seconds next should be updated to what? Seconds next shall be updated to nothing but what? It should be updated to T1. Right, this is what will happen. And after this, I'll update the first to first next, that is nothing but original first next, that is nothing but T1. And I'll update the second to nothing but T2. Is this point clear to everyone? Till this point everyone is clear? Okay, this is what will happen till this particular point. Now can I say that I want to like, please write R in the chat, because I also want to implement this reverse functionality, guys. I also want to reverse the, like, I also want to implement the reverse functionality. I want to implement the reversing of a linked list. Okay, so I want to write code for this also. Correct. This is something that I want. So you can write R in the chat for that. Okay. So let's suppose if I'm having a linked list. So in this question, you can see that I found midpoint. I also, there was the linked list. Then I applied the logic. So it is a kind of medium problem, I would say. It is not a hard problem for us. Okay. So what will I do? Let's say if I have a linked list, like, let's say for a second, let's assume that you have a linked list like 3 4 5. Okay, if you have this particular linked list, let's say, and you have this as null, and suppose you are having the head. So basically suppose that like, suppose that I take some other numbers. Let's say if I have 4 here, 5 here, 6 here. So suppose this is the second half. Obviously this will be the slows next. So let's say this is the current head that I'm having. Okay, and I want to reverse this linked list up. So what would I do? Right, can I say that I want to reverse the arrows, kind of, right? So what, like, if I'll think in a normal fashion, so what do I want? I want the current guy to point to the previous guy, right? Current next should point to the previous. Yes, all of you can write yes in the chat. This is what I want. I can see a lot of people are still watching us, so please hit the like button if you haven't. I want the currents next to point to the previous guys, right? So let's quickly write a function for that. So I'll say that what I'll be having is, let's say I'll be having node star reverse linked list. Okay, then I'll be passing the head, that is nothing but the slows next. Okay, from this I want to reverse. So let's quickly make some space for ourselves. Okay, so see, what I'll do is, first of all, I'll have a, like, I want a previous, because if you'll see, suppose that I'll start from this particular head, right? So that is nothing but slows next, because I'm passing the head here as slows next, right? So that is the after the midpoint. So what will I do here? If you will see, this is the current guy. So can I say that I want this four, like, since I want this linked list to get reversed, it is like 4 5 6, and after that null. So what do I want? I want 4 5 6. I want the arrows to look like this, and I want 4 to point to null. So can I say that before 4, I'll declare a previous as null? Okay, that is what I'll do. And I'll iterate until the current is not equal to null. Okay, so what will I do? I'll say that currents next is equal to previous. This is what I'm wanting, right? So what will I do here? I'll simply say that node star, let the current is equal to the head of the linked list. Okay, and I'll also have a node, right? Node star. Okay, I'm not writing the head correctly. So I'll have the node star, we can say previous node is equal to nothing but null initially. Right, and I'll iterate until the current is not equal to null. So until I reach the end, I'll keep on iterating and then keep on reversing. Now what will I do, guys? Let's understand this. So like I'll explain this while loop. In fact, in fact, you can skip this as of now. I'll explain this. So what do I want to do? Right, that is my question. So if you will see, can I say that if my current starts from the head, right? So I want the currents next to point to the previous, right? I want this guy to point to the previous. I want this 4 to point to the previous, right? But the moment this is pointing, so this connection is lost. The original current, like the moment I change the current next to the previous, right? So it starts pointing to the previous guy, and the moment it starts pointing to the previous guy, so the rest of the connection is lost. You can write lost in the chat. Is this point clear to everyone? The moment I do this, then rest of the connection for me is lost. And since the rest of the connection is lost, so I don't want this. So what will I do? Before changing this connectivity, before changing the currents next to the previous, like I will do what? I'll store the actual currents next as of now. Right. So I'll store this guy in a variable, let's say any. Okay. So what will I do? I'll say that any is equal to nothing but currents next. Right. So I'll store it in the next. Okay. And then I'll say that now what I can do is I can say that currents next will point to the previous guy. Okay. This is what I'll be doing. So now the currents next will point to the previous. So this is how it will point. And after this particular point, what can I say? Can I say that now I want this guy 5 to point to 4? Yes, you can write yes in the chat. Now I want 5 to point to 4. Okay. So again, I want the same thing only. So I can say that now 4 will behave like previous and 5 will behave like a current. So basically, what should I say? I will say that now the previous, like the current guy will become the previous guy. So previous guy now gets updated to the current, and the current guy will be nothing but the next guy. So current should be equal to the next any that I've stored. Right. So what will happen? This connection is lost, and then you can say that now the previous guy is here and the next guy is here. Like sorry, and the current guy is here. Okay. After that, again you'll store the next, because the moment 5 starts pointing to 4, then this connection is lost, and you lose the rest of the linked list, which is something that you don't want. So what you will do is you'll store this in the next. Then the currents next again will point to previous, and then again you want what? You want this guy to point to 5. So that is why you want again that 5 should now be the previous. So the current guy, the previous should get updated to the current guy, and the current guy should be the equal to the next guy that was there. Again you will do the same thing. So before that, what you will do is you'll store this in a variable. So let's say any, in a variable any you will store it, right? Then what you will do is you'll say that the current next is equal to null. So this is current next is equal to previous, sorry. So this is where it will point. And after this particular point, what will happen? You can see that after this particular point, same algorithm will follow. So basically you will say that okay, the previous stands here. Okay, the previous will stand here, and the current will come to the any, right? So current will stand here now. Okay, and the moment the current is null, please write null in the chat. That is when you'll stop. So you can write null arrow stop in the chat, right? Null arrow stop. The moment my current will be null, then I'll stop. Clear with this? Very easy. So and what is the new head? What is the new head? So the new head of the linked list is nothing but the previous variable. Like this particular guy, the previous pointer that was like this particular thing previous is now the new head. Okay, that's what I'm doing. So let's quickly write it. So I'll say that while the current is not equal to null, till that point of time I'll keep on iterating. So while the current is not equal to null, till this particular point I'll keep on iterating. And what will I do? I'll say that okay, node star next is equal to, sorry, so node star any is equal to nothing but what, uh, currents next. This is what we'll do. And after this particular point, we'll say that okay, the currents next should get updated to what, to the previous, and the previous should get updated to the current, and the current should get updated to the next. This is what we'll do. And in the end, what will I return? This particular linked list returns the head of the, what it will return, what, like this particular linked list, this particular function is going to return the head of the new reverse linked list. Okay, this is what you will do. So what will you return? You will return the previous, right? You will return previous, because previous is now the new head. Okay, this you will return this particular guy, right? Because ultimately if you had 1 2 3 here, okay, and now this is pointing to null. So this is where first is standing, and you have 6, you have 5, you have 4. That is the reverse linked list, let's say. So this is where my second should be, right? So you'll return this previous, right? So that the second will point here. Okay, is this particular point clear to everyone? That is how I'm going to reverse this linked list. Now let's quickly try and compile it to see if it works or not. Okay, so it does work on the samples, right? The sample is also very small. So let me write a custom test case for us, right? Let's say we have a size as like we have the size as 7, and let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nodes. Let's see if we are getting the expected output on this case or not. Or if you can hit the like button if you're watching till this point, you can see that if I have this particular point, right? So if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so let's see how it will look like. Okay, so see, if I have 1, then I have 2, then I have 3, then I have 4. Okay, then I have 5, then I have 6, then I have 7. So if you will see the first guy with the last guy, first guy with the last guy, then the second guy with the second last guy. So after two you will have six. So you can see after two you will have six. Then after three you will have five. So after three you will have five. Then you'll have four. So 1, 7, 2, 6, 3, 5, 4. 1, 7, 2, 1, 7, 2, 6, 3, 5, 4 is what we are getting. Okay, can we take example of even length linked list? Okay, let me submit this code and then I'll take the example of even length linked list as well. Okay, I'll take that example also. So please write AC in the chat because I think this code is getting accepted. So quickly write AC in the chat and please write easy in the chat. Please write AC easy in the chat because this question was quite easy for us, right? Okay, I don't know what I have done. You can write AC easy in the chat quickly. This was quite easy for us, right? It was quite easy. Now after this particular point, let's take example of even. Also you can write even in the chat, guys. You want me to take example how it will be behaving for the even linked list. So I will take that also easily, right? So let's say that if I have a length like 1 is pointing to 2, then I have 3, then I have this guy 4, then I have this guy 5, and let's say I have 6. Okay, and then I have a null if this particular linked list is there. So let's see how it will be behaving. Hi Satyam. Okay, so what will I do here? If I'll see, so basically the main thing is finding the midpoint. So slow will be 1. Okay, fast will be pointing at 1. Then fast will move by 1 node. Slow will move by like fast will move by 2 nodes. Slow will move by 1. So slow moves here. Okay, and the fast moves here by 2 nodes. Then the fast will move to 5, and you can say that the slow will move to 3 only. Then after that what is going to happen is that you can see this thing that after that the fast will point to null obviously and the slow will point to 4. Okay, this is what I am doing. So if my slow is pointing actually at 4, so what will happen? See, suppose that if my slow is pointing here, then I'm saying that from slows next I'll break. So this is nothing but slows next. Okay, so this particular region, let's say I'm trying to reverse it up. Okay, let's say I'm trying to do this. So basically what will happen, I'll mark the slows first of all I'll mark the slow next as null to break. So in this case what will happen if you have this linked list? So basically the first part will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and this will be pointing to null. Okay, like this guy will be pointing to null, right? And then you will have this as what, like the first, pointed as the first, and then this linked list will get reversed, so it will look like 6 5, and let's say you'll have null after that, right? If you are having this particular point, right? Is this point clear to everyone till this point? Now you will see how it works, right? So I'll tell you also, right? Just a second. If it breaks like this, then what will happen? See, after that I can say that the first next will point to the, like the first next will point to the second, right? This is the second. That is one thing, but before that obviously I'll have T1 and T2. So T1 will be pointing here and T2 will be pointing here, right? T1 will be pointing to the first next and T2 will be pointing to the second next. Now after that first next will point to the second. So one will start pointing to what? One will point to 6. Okay, a lot of people are watching us. Please hit the like button if you haven't. Please write like in the chat and please hit the like button, guys, if you haven't liked the video. A lot of people are still watching us. It's almost midnight in this winter. So please hit the like button if you haven't. I have put a lot of effort to explain this question in a easy manner. Okay, so this is the first, right? This is where first is standing. This is what second will be. Then obviously this will point to what? T1 as discussed, right? So now this will be 2. So this is T1. Then after that what will happen? First and second will get updated to T1 and T2. So now the first will start pointing here and the second will start pointing here at to T2, right? So the second will start pointing here. All right. Then what will happen here is after this particular point in time, now if you will see going further, so this is where you are, right? So 2, then first next will point to a second, right? So then what will happen basically, I am removing this part so that we don't see it again, right? Now what will happen, so 2's next will point to 5, right? So 2's next will point to second, and then this is T1, obviously this is T2. So you can see that what will happen, what you will do is you will now second, like 2 points to 5, right? Then after that what will happen, 5 will point to 3, so it will be like 3. Okay, and obviously 3 itself comes with a package, right? It will be 4 5, right? Because if you will see, like when it will point to 3, so obviously after that 3 is pointing to 4 5, because you can see what will happen in the end. After that, the first will come here, like first will come here, and the second will come where, second will come here. Okay, so second will get updated, and the second is going to come here, and the moment the second will become null, that is when I'll return, because the linked list has been made, because that is how we are doing this particular part. Sorry, you can remove this part here. Okay, so basically by joining just T1 here, I'm having this part. Please write clear in the chat, guys, if you are clear with this particular point. So taking the right middle of even is efficient as 3 is ready. Yeah, 3 is already paired with 4. No, that was the main thing, right? If you have, like, if you will see here, if you had like if you had 1, okay, then you had 2, then you had 3, then you had 4, then you had 5, then you had 6. Okay, so basically if this is where your slow is pointing and this is where you break, so when you break here, when you break here, so what happens, you have 5 6. Obviously when you reverse it, it will look like 6 5, right? Then you take this guy 1 with 6, then you take this guy 2 with 5. Okay, then you take this guy 3. When you take this guy 3, it comes with a package with 4, so obviously 4 is also there. So basically you can understand that one first guy, last guy, second last guy, third guy, and the third last guy. That is how it is this point clear? And for running this algorithm, you can see that we are almost running doing it in order of n time and order of one space, right? Because ultimately what are we doing, what steps are we taking? First of all, order of n by 2 time, you can say, like that is nothing but order of n time for finding the midpoint, you can say, right? Plus another order of n time I'm taking for, like this is for finding midpoint, finding midpoint. Then another order of n I'm doing for what, for reversing, reverse the second half, reverse the second half, right? And plus you can say another order of n iteration I'm doing for final, for generating the final answer, right? Generating the final answer, right? So overall it's nothing but order of n only, time complexity. And talking about the space complexity, so we are not taking any extra space, we are just changing the links, right? We are just changing the next pointers, so that is why the space complexity is order of 1, because I'm not taking any extra space. Please write clear in the chat, guys, and we'll be good to go with this session also. Is everyone clear with everything overall? The question is clear. Please write easy in the chat. It's very easy problem, to be honest now, right? So what I will do is I'll just quickly copy this code for you so that you can submit it overall. I'll open GFGID, it.geeks4geeks.org, and there you will see this particular thing. I'm just compiling it up so that I can share a link with you. Okay, yeah, so copying the link and I'll paste it in the chat. So quickly hit the like button, guys, if you haven't, and just quickly let me know, is everything clear? Did you learn something new? Please write new in the chat as well, and then I'll end this stream as well. Okay, I hope that everything inside out is clear to everyone, right? Is everything clear, guys? Okay, so you can quickly let me know in the chat. Okay, so Himanshu is saying clear. He learned something new as well. Great. Rishit is saying easy. Okay, clear. Great. Clear. So Satyam is saying AC. Okay, Amar is saying AC. Great, guys. So this was the problem of the day that was asked. It obviously, this problem, you can see this problem was asked in several companies. It was asked in Amazon. It was also asked in Microsoft. Okay, and other than this, I think it was also asked in Intuit and OYO. So that is why we recommend you to solve the problem. We recommend that you should solve the GFG problem of the day, right? so that you can improve with time. This was it, and thanks a lot for watching this video, and make sure to hit the like button after this video is over. So you will get the comment section, the normal comment section. So please comment down understood in the chat if you have understood till now, Himanshu and Rishit and everyone. If you have understood till the end, if you have stayed till the end, so please write understood after this video is over. And thank you for being patient. And will like, because it was a long stream, obviously. And I'll see you on Friday with another problem of the day. Till then, keep coding, guys, and make sure to subscribe the channel if you haven't. Good night. Take care. Bye, everyone.